everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a video that's kind of aimed at people who are maybe newer to makeup. So what I'm going to be doing is talking through the whole makeup application process start to finish and kind of talking about the different steps of the different products. So I'll be trying to talk through these things as quickly as I can just so that the video isn't too long. But before I do, I just wanted to point out a couple of things. So first of all, these are only just guidelines and they're only my guidelines, so they're not in any way rules of makeup. There aren't any rules to makeup, but these are just some things that might help you discover makeup and the different products. Secondly, all of these topics can be totally expanded and you can learn more about eyeliner or learn more about highlighting, contouring. I'm just giving kind of a brief description of each step. Thirdly, there are so many different kinds of products and tools and brushes out there, so I would say if you're just beginning, look at what you have, get familiar with the brushes you have and the products you have, see what you like, what you don't like, what you found easy to use and hard to use, and then you can kind of go from there and see what products are out there that you'd like to try or that you think might suit you. So I'll be talking about some types of products, but there are millions of kinds and colours and everything. And if you'd like some help with different kinds of brushes, I do have a quick little video on brushes, and I link that somewhere on the screen here and also down below. And fourthly, I think you can be continuously learning with makeup through books, videos on YouTube, blogs, other people, listening to what other people like and people's recommendations. So you can always be learning more about products and techniques. Fifth, once you get more familiar with makeup and what you like, what you don't like, and your products and things like that, you can always be more creative and more artistic. Don't be afraid to try new things, even if it's just to try it and try out a new eyeshadow and then wipe it off. So don't be afraid to try new things and be more creative. So with all that said, let's get started. So first is skin preparation, and this is very important because this is effectively what goes between your actual skin and the makeup, so it does affect the makeup. So you always want to start out with a clean, moisturised face, and do remember to use skincare products that suit your skin type, and this will be better for your skin and for your makeup. Then before your foundation, you want to pop on a face primer all over your face. This basically balances the skin, it smooths out the texture, it helps the foundation to go on better, and it helps it to last better. So what you want to do is find a primer that suits your skin type, or maybe is targeted towards a skin issue that you have, be it large pores or redness. Next is foundation, and you don't by any means have to do foundation first. I generally don't. I like to do my eyes first just because it prevents any shadow falling onto my foundation and ruining it, but this is just the order I'm going to go in. So the first key is to match the colour of your skin. So I know sometimes we all want to have a little bit more colour, but the purpose of foundation is to really smooth out the skin tone, and then you can add warmth and colour with bronzers and things like that afterwards. So you want the skin in your face to match the skin on your neck and chest and the rest of your body, so it doesn't look like a mask. So foundations come in all sorts of shapes and forms. They come like liquids, even like souffle mousses, powders or creams, and these just offer different textures and different finishes. You also want to find a specific foundation with a formula that suits your skin, so again this is based on your skin type. If you have oily skin, you might want something with more of a matte finish or something that controls oil, or if you're more dry skin, you might want something that's a bit more moisturising. You also want to consider the coverage of the foundation, whether it's a very sheer foundation that you can really see your skin through it, or whether it's more heavier coverage where it really covers your skin. So while you're trying to find a foundation that suits you, don't be afraid to ask for samples at your makeup counters. This will allow you to go home and really test it out and see how you like it yourself. If for whatever reason you can't get a sample, have them applied to your skin, so go in with no makeup on and then walk around for the day so you can look at it in daylight and see how it wears in your skin, and then you can kind of make a more informed decision, because the lighting in those makeup departments can be so awful and so hard to see if it really suits you. So going out into daylight would definitely help, and seeing how it wears throughout the day would be a big factor in your everyday life. For concealer, again, you want to consider colour and you want to consider coverage. For concealer, you are trying to hide imperfections generally, so higher coverage is usually better. And when considering the formula, you want to think of where you're going to use it. So if you're going to be using it maybe under the eye, you might want something a little bit more moisturising, so something like a liquid concealer. Or if you're going to be using it on blemishes, you might want something that's going to be a little bit more long lasting, so maybe something like a cream concealer. Now you want to set your makeup so that it lasts longer throughout the day. If you have a drier skin type and you don't like powders, there are setting sprays This one is from Scandinavia. Urban Decay have one that is actually by Scandinavia. A few different companies have these, so you just spritz them on over your face and it'll help it to last longer without making your face feel too dry. If you do like a powder, they come in different forms. They come loose in a jar, or they come pressed like in a compact. So within that they can come translucent, or they can come with colour in it. So this one has colour in it, so it'll add just a little bit more coverage or a little bit more colour to the face. This one is actually translucent, even though it does look white in the jar. When you buff it into the skin it goes clear, and it's great for touching out throughout the day because it's not going to be adding colour and creating a cakey look. Now we have highlighting and contouring, and this is basically adding shade and light to the face to give it more dimension. This mightn't be something that you would use in your everyday routine, but it's nice to kind of know about for maybe special occasions. So again, these come in powder and cream forms, and if you are using a setting powder you want to apply that after you apply any cream products to your face. So a highlight is basically a colour that's lighter than your skin tone, and it may or may not have shimmer in, and where you place this is basically anywhere the light would naturally hit, so the high points of your face. So kind of the centre of the forehead, the tops of the cheekbones, the centre of the bridge of the nose and your chin. And this basically brings parts of your face forward, so like it would give you more maybe prominent cheekbones, or the effect of it. Contours then do the opposite. They give a shadow to the face, so under the cheekbone where you'd want a shadow, a little bit around the temples, down the sides of the nose if you want to slim the nose, and just under the jaw if you want to emphasise your jawline. So as contouring is adding shade and shadow to the face, you don't want something that's shimmery, which is basically bringing light because it's counteracting what you're doing. So steer away from shimmery bronzers and things like that. And if you're a fair skin tone, steer away from orangey or reddy bronzers to use as contours. You want something that's going to be a cooler undertone, basically like almost a greyer undertone, so it's going to give a natural shadow look. You also want to find colours that are going to suit your skin. So obviously these colours here are quite dark, but you want to find something that you're going to be able to blend into your skin. So something that's not too much darker than your natural skin tone will give a more natural look. The last point about highlighting contouring is blending. This is the key, because you don't want to end up with just lines of highlight and lines of contour. You want to blend it in so that it looks natural, because it's just basically the effect of light and shade. It's not supposed to be an obvious streak. So again, use a light hand, apply a little bit, blend it out, and then if you need a bit more you can add a bit more and blend again.
So I forgot to mention bronzer when I was filming, but basically what it's used for is to give some colour to your face as if you've been in the sun. So where you would place it is anywhere the sun would hit. So the top of your forehead, the tops of the cheekbones, the bridge of the nose, you can kind of sweep it over your collarbone area. And because it's mimicking like a tan colour, they tend to have a warmer undertone, which is why it's not always suitable for contouring where you want a shadow, especially for fair skin tones. And again, these come in all different forms.
For blushes, again, they come in different forms. You can get them in powders or creams and even kind of water liquids. And again, you want to consider this if you're using a setting powder to powder after your cream products, so like cream blushes. So of course you want to find a colour that you find complements your skin or looks well on you. As for placement, that's really kind of a personal preference thing. Personally, I like to put it kind of a little bit lower on the apples of the cheeks and then pulling it up towards the cheekbone, not putting it right on top of the cheekbone, just pulling it up a little bit so it gives it a bit of a lift. But at the same time it's not too low on the cheek and it's not too aging. So next is eyeshadows, and many people have problems with creasing, so throughout the day the shadow gathers in the lines of the crease. This can be counteracted by using an eyeshadow primer. This one is just from e.l.f. and you just basically smooth it all over the lid anywhere you're going to place shadow. So that's going to help with creasing, with longevity, with the application. It should make it smoother application, and it should make them a little bit more vibrant. And at the moment I'm actually doing an eye primer battle of the brand series, so basically comparing different brands of eye primers against one another. And I wear a different one in each eye and I check back throughout the day to show you how they're wearing. So I'll link those videos that I have up so far down below. In terms of colours, again, this is totally personal preference, what you like on yourself, but don't be afraid to try something new and venture a little bit outside your box. Again, shadows come in different forms like creams or powders, so it depends on the finish that you like, but bear in mind that creams will crease easier. They also come in different finishes, so matte colours are just a flat colour with no shine, no shimmer, and you can get satin finish which have a little bit of a sheen to them, and then shimmers or frosts have a lot of shine to them. Do remember that frost and shimmery colours tend to emphasise fine lines, so if you're conscious of your fine lines around your eyes, you might want to steer away from very shimmery colours. If you like to use a bit of colour or like to experiment, I would say think of shades. So like if you want to do a blue eyeshadow look, don't just use one blue, look at the different blues that you have and you can play around with different shades and it gives more dimension to the eye. And the final point I have on eyeshadows is that the best way to get a more polished or more professional look is to blend. So I would say make sure you have a blending brush which looks like this. So it's just a fluffy eye brush, and this helps you blend out shadow or blend shadows into one another. so that you avoid having colours just side by side, that you create more of a gradient between them, and that you don't just have a shadow that just stops sharply, that it diffuses softly. Now that's in general. If the look that you're going for is something that is sharp or that does have very definite colour blocking, then that's a totally different thing. So if you do like that look, that's totally fine, but to get a more polished look, a blending brush is a very good investment. For eyeliner, once again they come in many different forms. They come as pencils, in liquid forms and in gel forms, and you can also use shadow as an option. So if you have a black eyeshadow, you can use this with a little angled brush like this, and this will give a much softer effect. You can also use the shadow to place over any of these three to soften the look of these. So like if you like to use a pencil but you find that it's hard to get a smooth line, running some shadow over that will just blend the edge and kind of soften and smooth that a little bit. For brows, again, you can use things like eyebrow pencils, or you can use eyeshadow. So if you have a matte eyeshadow that is similar to your hair colour, you can use that with, again, a little angled brush. Companies are also coming out with things like brow gels and brow mousses, so they're kind of just a different formula, different texture, and that's something you can try if you like brow products. For the colour of these products, you want to try and use something that's just one shade lighter than your brow hairs, because if you're using something that's exactly the shade and you fill it in, it can look quite harsh and quite blocky. So using something a little bit lighter will just keep the dimension and keep it looking a little bit realistic. In terms of the shape, that's totally up to your personal preference as well as your natural brow shape. Another thing to mention about brows is that you can get brow gels or setting gels, and these essentially just comb through your brows and they'll keep the hairs in place. So if you have trouble with brows being unruly, this will just help keep them in place. You can also get brow gels with colour in them, so you can actually just use these on their own and they'll just give a little bit of definition to the brow. Finding a good mascara is generally a personal preference thing. It depends on what you want from a mascara, if you want it to be very lengthening or very volumizing or both. And you might also want to consider the brushes that come with it. So mascara brushes come in, again, different shapes and sizes. This is kind of a standard brush. They come in like plasticky forms, tiny ones for lower lashes. So it's just a case of finding a mascara with a formula and brush that suits you. If you want to build on your lashes more, there are always false lashes. So you can get strip lashes that basically sit all the way along the lash line, and these can come in all different styles. So you can have more natural ones like these or more dramatic ones like these. But if you're new to false lashes, my tip would be to go for half lashes, so something like these, which basically sit on the outer half or outer corner of the lash line, and they're just so much easier to put on. There's not as much fiddling trying to get the corners down, they just sit right on and they're good to go. The final style of lash is the kind of individual or cluster lashes, like these, which you basically place on one at a time. These are flared ones, so they give the effect of a few lashes in one. So you just place these along the lash, and they come in different lengths as well to create different effects. These are a little bit more fiddly, but I think they're quite easy once you get the hang of it. They also give a much more natural effect. So for lips, this is another area where you can use a primer. MAC do a good one called Lip Prep and Prime, and basically this will stop your lip colour from bleeding or moving around, so it'll keep it in place and lasting longer. Lip liners will help define your lip shape. You can also fill in your entire lip to help whatever colour is going on top to last longer, rather than just the area around the outside of your lip lasting the longest. Or you can also use lip liners just as a colour in themselves. Lipsticks then are just the classic tube lipstick, which we all know and love. You can also get products that are just as opaque but come in different forms. So like sleek pout paints or OCC lip tars are liquids, but they're just as opaque. Or things like cream lipsticks that go on like lip glosses but are opaque. And then finally you have the actual lip gloss, which are sheerer in colour and give a glossier finish. And you can use lipsticks and lip products straight from the applicator or from the bullet. Using a lip brush though will give you a more precise application if you really want to perfect the shape. If you're using, say, like a red lipstick where you don't want it to be looking messy, if you want it to look really perfect, I would say use a little lip brush. So those are all my basic tips. I am aware that I was talking quite quickly and there was a lot of information in that, but the great thing about videos is that you can just go back and hear whatever you want to hear again. So if you liked it, please don't forget to give a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Also, please subscribe to the channel. This is a makeup and beauty channel, so I do post a lot about products and tutorials where I show you actually how to do specific looks. So if you click the subscribe button that's down below, you'll get those in your feed. I do actually have a tutorial of this makeup that I'm wearing, so I'll link that below. And if you want to click to my channel, it'll show you other videos that I've done. So thanks again so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions or you want any product recommendations or anything, just leave a comment below and I'll get back to you, or you can message me. So that's all from me for now, finally. But I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!